So my story, and this is really vulnerable to share, like I feel better about sharing it, but it still feels a little bit embarrassing. Earlier this year, so the beginning of lockdown, right at the beginning of lockdown, I don't know about you, but for me, lockdown has been a fantastic opportunity to go even deeper into my self-knowing and self-love, and to really continue my inner work, just as you're doing now. And I'm just trying to remember exactly how it went down, but essentially there was a series of events and happenings, and I was finding myself getting really worked up. I was uncomfortable, I was antsy, and it wasn't my perimenopause hormones. I was really like off kilter. Something wasn't sitting right with me. And I sat down with my journal. I know that when I get that, like that, there's something looking to be seen. And I sat with my journal and I started writing. And what came through just really took my breath away, and I found it to be the most shameful feeling. And I was embarrassed. I'm just trying to remember the story perfectly because I hadn't prepared to share this. So I hooked into experiences I had at school when I was a young girl, a young teenager, where I wasn't the cool kid. I was a really, really good girl at school. I wonder if any of you can relate to this. So I was a really, really good girl. I tried really hard. Getting good grades meant the world to me. I did very well at school. It didn't come supernaturally, like I had to work hard to get the good grades. But I was also naturally quite intelligent. I was teased for being intelligent. My nickname was Spock, you know, off, what's that extraterrestrial kind of TV show? You know, Spock with the ears, with the pointy ears, whatever that's called. I can't think now. Someone will tell me, I'm sure, in a minute. So they called me Spock. I had really skinny legs, and my mum wouldn't let me shave my legs. I can't remember how old I was when I first shaved my legs, but I had skinny, hairy legs. It was noticeable and it was embarrassing, and I got teased for that. And, you know, my uniform was always correct. Mum wouldn't let me have the cool shoes that the other kids had. I wasn't allowed to have the cool, big, thick, scrunchy socks that the other kids had. I had to have the proper, like, school attire socks. I wasn't allowed to wear my skirt really, really short like the other girls did. You know, I was kind of a good girl, and I got teased. You know, I had my nice little group of friends, but I wasn't in the cool gang. And as a teenager, I just wanted to be in the cool gang. Star Trek. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Danielle. I knew someone else would know. Thank you, Mandy. And I wasn't in the cool gang. And while I'd done a lot of personal growth work, and of course, thank you, Susie, thank you, Amber, and of course, I had connected with that young girl, and there was an awareness that I wasn't cool. A different level and layer to that experience came through at the beginning of this year, and it was, you're not popular. So it's a very specific belief, you are not popular. And it was showing up and I could see throughout my history of friendships and relationships with work colleagues, and even my career success as an entrepreneur, you're not popular was playing out. And I didn't know it was there. So it was a belief system that was so deep. It was so subconscious. I was so on autopilot with it. Like, it was running the show, and I didn't even know it until March this year. And it really, I found it humiliating that there was a voice inside of me telling me that you're not popular. And I really, really felt the pain of that young girl back then. I mean, it really hurt. It was really interesting just how deeply I felt it. But I also allowed myself to feel it. So I absolutely consciously created the time and space. Back in March, it was perfect, beginning of lockdown. Wasn't going anywhere anyway, so I just got out my journals, and I sat with my journals, and I sat in meditation. I sat and cried and cried and cried. I got really fucking angry. I had to say to James, look, I've got some stuff going on. It's really old stuff from my childhood. Please just give me some space. I need to allow myself to process this. So I didn't push it down. I didn't ignore it. I kept journaling on it. until I found it release. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I have been kind of shouting about the fact that 205 women signed up for this 5-day challenge. Now, my old conditioning, when I started to prepare for the challenge, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great to get 100 people? A voice went off in my head that went, no, you'd be lucky to get 30. And I thought, well, actually, that would be great. 30 would be amazing. Imagine working with 30 wonderful women. How wonderful. So I, full steam ahead, expecting to get 30 people. And kind of desiring 100, but really sort of expecting 30. But I had no attachment to the numbers, genuinely zero attachment to the numbers. I was just doing my thing, head down, tail up, producing content, creating this for you. And then I got 30 on the first day of promotion. And by the way, it wasn't paid ads or anything. This is a completely organic launch. Nothing paid, no massive marketing campaign around it. And on the first day, 30 people signed up. I thought, wow, that's amazing. And I could feel something in my energy just expand and relax. And I was like, yeah, that just feels normal. That feels wonderful. And then by the end of the first week of promotion, it was a 2-week promotion phase. At the end of the first week, there was 100 people signed up. I thought, wow, that's amazing. And then a little voice went, I wonder if that might double by the end. How interesting, how exciting would that be if that figure would double? And then we got to Sunday afternoon. I was meant to close it off on Sunday night. I think I closed it off lunchtime Monday. Getting to Sunday night, I was like, how cool would it be? And I was literally, and what I want you to hear as I share this is the anticipation energy. Big difference between anticipation energy and attachment energy, expectation energy, like having to have it work out a certain way. There was zero attachment. I was utterly surrendered. I was just excited and in anticipation of what was going to happen. So I was totally in receiving mode. It was very feminine. So my masculine energy was doing the work, doing the promoting, bringing it all together, making it happen. Everything I was doing was inspired by my feminine. It felt really good. I wasn't exhausted. I'm not gonna lie, there were times I was tired, but I wasn't exhausted from doing something that I thought I should do. It was all inspired guidance. I was so tapped into my feminine, creating from a very passionate, inspired place. Doing the work, total surrender, total non-attachment, allowing what will be to be, trusting the process. Sunday night, 200 people. Okay, no, lie. Sunday night, it was 198 people. Monday morning, I woke up, it was 205. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. How amazing is that? And it's not like my ego is sitting here going, I'm popular. It's not about that. The I'm popular was an ego piece from my childhood, which absolutely needed love and light and healing. And I did that work earlier this year. That's continued to heal throughout the year. And then I've just been shown what can happen when we do that work and we surrender.